Not yet. Vicky is pretty slow. Remain silent until I have contacted him myself. While our telepathy talents are handy, but unknown to humans, and I have no wish at this time that to break synapses. It's not quiet, but I understand, until I get to our ship.
I do not know. Well, I suppose it's impossible if I think so. She snorts, turns her beautiful nose up toward the line of the trees on the horizon, and begins to rub the corners of her eyes. I doubt she sees much. I try to piece the information together to form a mental picture of what she's talking about, and somehow manage to figure out what to look for. But I push the idea out of my head because it's just amazing? Not welcome, that's for sure. It's really not the time, but I let it be. Start over. One look at her and my body lights up again. It looks like a lake or a pond, doesn't it? He asked me suddenly. At least my promise has the advantage of starting over again, and we walk a good hour before we get to a large, trapped one. Waters come that appear to be saltless. All the details of this planet. Maybe we can find a fisherman's hut? Shit, this won't stop. Seems confusing to me, but I'm careful not to tell him. And when I recognize the kind of rudimentary dwelling she calls hut, I reach the place in a few dozen steps. My eyes narrow when I see an open door, but they widen as I enter. Apart from an old broken chair, there is no furniture adorning the small Spartan room. Let us try it. Let's go on a bit, I suggested. Maybe we can shelter somewhere. Look and get some rest if you want.
Damn, is he in such bad shape? Hours. Damn connection. I curse Lagmar for being so cunning to try and clear my head. Telepathy is a talent common to all Landivars, but one that evolves throughout suffer. Somewhat lost, I feel the place of the eyes before deciding to do the same. My eyelids are half open and my iris rests on the shape that is on the floor, regular splashing of the water from nearby into a gentle torpor. The to care of her. The location reminds me of the inland seas of Landivar, where I used to enjoy vacationing in one of my family's many palaces when I was young, before the war begins and the planet is under permanent siege. Oddly enough, she doesn't seem to mind because she urges me to lie on the floor and curl up like a dog. Before the unspeakable happens, and the woman the worst tragedy lean and I close my eyes, surrendering to the tranquility of the place for a few minutes, like a fuzzy, discernible, emotional impulse to this woman I just recently met. And it's bloody disturbing. What happens? I feel you feverish. Suddenly I see her shaking, and at the speed of light, I join her on the floor, go behind her back, and lie around her with a gesture I can't explain. My only wish is to warm them up, and as soon as possible, in the distant cries of birds, which I assume to be nocturnal birds, while personally, I'd prefer to go that fast, but Vicky's tired state makes me frown. She's exhausted. The back of my head bangs against the wood of the paneled wall I'm leaning against, lies, which I can see through the moonbeams despite the darkness of the surroundings, and a strange feeling forms in my brain, disturbed by these last 48.
Did you understand that I didn't want to say more? Still, there's a palpable stillness in my head, and only the sound of Vicky's gentle breathing fills the room. She sleeps, no doubt exhausted, and a strong sense of shame washes over me. I shouldn't. I hardly know her. Knowing that she is tired enough to fall asleep within seconds squeezes my heart. And this girl! Further down, my penis reacts again, probably from the spooning position I used to warm it up. I try to ignore it, but it's complicated. If I readjust to the best of my ability, things will only get worse. Caught between the beautiful Vicky's buttocks, my member throbbed with the proximity of the opposite sex, which interested her immensely. My jaw clenches, my fingers tightening around the edges of the young researcher's white coat. A sudden cold need to fuck drains my guts. But I sorry, but I suppress it with a mental backlash. Pull yourself together, damn it. You didn't ask for anything. I don't know what to think. I don't like reacting so brutally to a female presence, especially since this girl is just a stranger to me. Spending time with the people closest to us, which not only allows us to communicate, but also to recognize the emotions and reactions of whoever we are connected to. It is obvious now that my second and I are almost like an old couple. Right now, I don't want him to be able to see my inner feelings, especially since I don't understand them myself, and so upsets me. I moan and stroke his blonde hair. Bad idea. The escaping one. You are a prince. You run away. So be it. The smell of honey only fuels a fire burning deep in my gut. Because a desire satisfies you, it's not a big deal. We'll try to get some sleep.
I have heat terribly hot. Vicky,